but I'm on this one.
Yeah.
A very good afternoon and welcome once more to Sydney Harbour, and we have very good news for the third heat of the 18-foot skiff 2022 JJ Giltinans. The race is on. It will be a delayed start and over a shortened, as they call the storm course, plenty of wind. The breeze has been very fresh all morning here on the harbour, 30 knots plus, but it's moderated somewhat, and the officials are just going out to lay a starting line and will be underway at about 3:30 Sydney time, which is in about an hour's time. But I'm delighted to welcome to the camera Sean Langman, the skipper of Noakes Sailing, 60 years young yesterday. Sean, happy birthday. How are you holding up competing against all these young blokes?
Oh, well, thank you, Peter. And yeah, 60 years young, I actually feel great. I had a lot of pre-regatta injuries that I'm dealing with, but you know, mentally I've got some great guys with me that are keeping me focused, and yeah, I'm enjoying the regatta and the challenge. Well,
you've got one of the newest boats in the fleet. How's it coming together?
The new boat is creating a lot of attention. There's quite a few subtle changes to the boat, probably around about 50 things that we've been trialling. Unfortunately, race one, we had a tiller failure. It snapped off at the top of the rudder. We just need a little bit more time with the boat, but it's showing bursts of speed and we're pretty excited about the boat.
Yes, you looked very quick on Saturday before you had misadventure. You had capsized at the Shark Island jibe mark, but you got back to fourth place and then the tiller broke. That was good speed, I think, upwind.
Yeah, I figure really it was that couple of weeks off after surgery that I was a little bit rusty. I had a bit of pre-start jitters and managed to run into Jack, which didn't end very well for us, and you know, he was totally in the right. So yeah, we got a little bit behind, a little bit of miscommunication at the Shark Island jibe and put her in the tide there, and we had to sail through the fleet. So disappointing. We were in fourth at the time and challenging. Would have been nice to carry a fourth rather than an absolute motherless last, but anyway, that's the way the JJ goes. It's a long event and there's a long way to go.
And what do you think about the conditions today?
Still going to be testing today, especially this shortened storm course. It's a new course to most of us. Top mark, if they lay it where they laid it yesterday underneath Clark Island, that's going to be particularly interesting, how you make an approach to that buoy under the lee of the island. So hopefully they don't lay that same position. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, as 18s always are. And the breeze is supposed to be a bait. Clouds has it still fairly fresh around about start time, you know, gusts up over 30. So fingers crossed we all get off the line and everyone gets home safe.
Well, enough breeze for everyone. But Sean, finally, 3 boats in this fleet. You've got your own boat, Noakes Blue, that's skippered by Yvette Heritage, the only female skipper, and Noakes Youth. How does that all play out for you?
Well, I met Yvette properly at the Garda Regatta, and I was just incredibly impressed with her organisational skills and just getting the boats down to the starting area, and she was always there willing to help everybody, and had a bit of a chat to Yvette, and you know, she's a geotech engineer, she's a clever woman, she really doesn't want to be regarded as a woman amongst the men. She wants to be regarded on equal footing, so she fitted very well into our Noakes Blue inclusiveness program, and yeah, we picked up a sponsorship with her with Howie's old boat, and I think we're in the 3rd year now and we're keen to continue. And the youth boat, really again, I met young Tom in the boat park last year, and I was just enthused by his enthusiasm, and so we picked up him as well.
Well, you say Yvette's very smart. I think she was the smartest skipper yesterday. She got straight on the ferry. She didn't even go into the water.
Yeah, actually, Yvette and I spoke about it some years ago. We had a day where we decided to stay ashore and cracked a bottle of rosé and stayed in the club. And when I came in, I said, I'm a bit disappointed, Yvette, the rosé's not open. But yeah, that was definitely the right call. I'm pleased that no one got injured yesterday, and yeah, also very pleased that we managed to get in without any damage to the boat. So, you know, same ethos today, but the thing is with an 18-foot skiff, if you hold back, then you actually end up putting yourself in more peril. You know, if you get nervous, you tend to hold back, and everyone's going to be thinking the same and being on their game and pushing as hard as you can.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Good luck today. Get over and rig the boat up and help your boys, and hope the body holds out and have a great race.
Yeah, thanks, shippers. I think they're probably wondering where I am.
Good luck. Good luck. All right, well, Sean Langman, thanks very much. We'll now go back to Andrew Buckland. And Andrew, you might give us an overview of the weather, how you see it playing out. And we're still about 40 minutes at least from a start. The race is definitely on. The boats are now rigging in the park, and we'll be out there shortly. So just hang into us and onto us, and we'll be with you out sailing shortly. So, Andrew, tell us about the weather.
I can't hear what he said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for weather.
Okay. So, folks, the weather situation not too much different if you're watching yesterday, but low pressure cell still about centred about 200 odd miles southeast of Sydney. Pretty fading but solid southwest flow up the New South Wales coast, with the expectation that the pressure will just drop a little after Adelaide start and towards sunset. So, as you're probably aware, the committee's decided to put the fleet on the storm course, but we think that the wind range might be 15 to 25 over the course of the day, and some of the fleet with reefs in and so forth. But not a very complicated situation, and quite nice smooth water on the harbour. So we're looking forward to a good little shorter course, 10 miles versus 13.5.
Skipper Tim Westwood from Birkenhead Point Marina. Well done on Saturday. That was the best performance of the year, I think. 6th place. Happy with that?
Yeah, no, really happy. I mean, it's great to have Birkenhead Point, giving us all the support every week, and it's a shame they weren't there that day, but, we'll go out there today and give it another go.
And Tim, as one of the youngest skippers in the fleet, how are you enjoying the 18-footers?
Yeah, it's a great class to be involved in. There's so many good sailors here, and you can really see, how high the level is. And it's hard to keep up, but you definitely learn a lot. And, yeah, it's always great being here.
Now, you're tied up with Sail GP, is that right?
Yes.
How are you involved there?
So I'm a sailor with the Japanese Sail GP team. So I'm working as a grinder right now. And so I'm pretty much the one that's trimming the jib and also turning the handles.
So you're off to San Francisco next week or so?
Yeah, no, exactly. So straight into the Sail GP after this, which is great. So, it's a busy year, but it's always fun.
And looking at the weather today, I mean, it was fresh to frightening yesterday in more ways than one. What are you expecting today? I mean, it looks still pretty fresh.
Yeah, it looks pretty fresh, but I see a lot of the boats are taking their reefs out right now. So maybe that's a sign that it might back off a little bit, but maybe it's not. Who knows? We'll just have to see when we get out there.
And are you sailing with a reef in today?
We are, yeah. We'll be out there with a reef, so it'll be good.
And you've got one of the youngest crews, I think. They're all relatively new boys to 18-foot sailing.
Yeah. So we're a fresh team, just starting all together this year. And, it's been a great journey so far. We'd just like to finish it on a high.
Well, if you can repeat Saturday's performance, I think you'd be very pleased.
Yeah, no, exactly. Top 10's the goal.
Good on you. Well, Tim, thank you very much. Good luck today. I'll let you get back to your boat, and certainly good luck with Sail GP. We'll all be watching, and we'll see you on the water shortly. All the best.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Okay, Tim Westwood. Thank you, Tim. And we'll go back now to the camera cat and have a bit of an overview of today's race. We've got a lot of questions to answer from a lot of the viewers, and we'll shortly leave the dock and go out and give you a really first-hand view of the weather. And looking from the dock here at Double Bay, it looks quite nice. The sun's out. That's the good news after all the rain we've had. But the breeze to leave the wharf at Double Bay. So hope you're enjoying it wherever you are around the world. We'll just leave the dock and I'll report back shortly. Well, here we are, just about to leave the Double Bay Wharf, the spectator ferry in the background. But the good news is that the racing is on for the third heat of the JJs. There was been a delay if you're just joining us. The start will be approximately 3:30 Sydney time, which is in about 45 minutes. And there's plenty of wind. But the rain has seemed to have gone away after the torrential downpour we've had over the last few days. And the sky is relatively clear. There's still a lot of high cloud around, but really no sign of significant rain. And we'll be on that shortened southerly course today. So, Andrew Buckland, you're with us again, and Jimmy Bury just navigating his way through the moorings at Double Bay. So we'll bring Jimmy in a bit later to talk through the course, but it is a shortened course. You can see the boats still in the park. Some of them are starting to get upright with their small rigs in, no doubt about that. And as we heard from Tim Westwood, some will have a reef in, I think. Birkenhead Point Marine is one that'll have a reef in, and I think a few in the park were working out whether to have one or not. So we'll see a mixture there. I think more will have the reef out, so it'll be a small sail for most of them, but some will be a bit prudent and have the reef in. So we lost yesterday. We got out to the starting area, but it was just way too wild. Wind, rain, and everything in between that really made a decision quite easy, I think, for the racing officials to cancel the day's racing. So at the moment, the schedule, we believe, is for one race today and then 2 races tomorrow, 2 races on Friday, so that was a scheduled lay day, and then 1 race on Saturday and 1 race on Sunday. But that's a little bit down the track, but we'll concentrate on today's, which will be the 3rd race of the JJs. And while we're going out, we just might have a look at the overall points if we can. I mean, as I said yesterday, rather irrelevant at this very early stage in the regatta. But nonetheless, we've got a very clear idea of the top 2. There's no doubt about that. When we've got Andu, that has won the first 2 races, and Tech 2 has 2 second places. So they are clearly dominant at this early stage. There we go. As you see, Andu leads, Tech 2, Rag and Famish, Smeg, the Oak Double Bay, Shaw and Partners, and you can see the list down there. But as I say, very early days and really can't read much into that, only that probably Andu's doing a pretty good job and is probably on a lot of people's tip to be the champion. But who knows? A lot can happen, and a lot could have happened yesterday, but everyone got back somewhat unscathed. Unfortunately, there was a broken mast aboard Shaw and Partners, and I believe they have got the mast fixed. They broke it at the gooseneck. That's the point where the mast the boom joins the mast for those non-sailors. They put a spinnaker up and raced down harbour, and they got themselves, by the time they got sorted out and they got under tow, they were right down at Watson's Bay and a long tow back in 40 knots of breeze. But I believe the mast is fixed, and they'll be at the starting line today. So,
well, Pete, they're actually trying to put a new mast in.
Oh, okay. Well, they'll be out there in some shape or form.
They're racing against time when I spoke to Stevie Thomas, but they, I think the hour addition might be a bonus for them.
Yep, they are delayed. Well, Jimmy Bury, you've navigated us once again out of the dock and through the moorings, out onto the course. We might go through the race course as we wander down off Clark Island to the start in Athol near Taronga Park Zoo. It will be a shortened version of the southerly course. There we go. Jimmy, talk us through it, please.
Yep, go Shippo. So, yeah, we're starting down Athol Bight just below Taronga Zoo. Then we work our way up to the little red mark there at Clark Island. And instead of going all the way down to Obelisk, we go just to the Chowder Bay mark, which will be the YA mark at yellow there. Then work back up around Shark Island, run back down to Robertson Point and do that all again and finish up here at Clark Island.
Okay, well, Andrew, the mark in Chowder Bay or Clifton Gardens, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? That's the mark they'll go to, as Jimmy said, instead of Obelisk, but it's tucked right in around the point there at Chowder Head. It's going to be a difficult approach, isn't it?
Yeah, it's barely 200 metres off the shoreline in a sort of northeasterly direction. Very tough port tack ley line in there, and then a sort of a 270-degree turn around the mark. So it requires some fine judgment about how to execute in terms of jibe drop or indeed drop and jibe. Big dial up though either way. So and tricky wind given the proximity of the mark to the shoreline.
So you're up for it? You ready?
I'm ready, but I did say to Sebi that I've been in the tide there once or twice in my life in similar conditions to today. So yes.
Right. So anyway, we'll see how it pans out. Today's race sponsor is North Sails. So a big supplier of sails, not only for this fleet, but for worldwide yachts and skiffs. So we're just moving out in Clark Island. It doesn't look extreme at this stage. We are a little bit protected by Darling Point, but once we get out into Athelbite, we'll bring that to you, the actual wind speed. So while we're moseying our way out, a couple of questions from viewers that we'd try and answer. Russell Blake has asked, why Yandu and Andu? Well, a little bit of history here. The name Yandu came about just after the Second World War. One of the designers of the famous Australian skiff, the VJ, was a guy called Sil Royu. And he fought in the First World War, and his magazine that was attached to his army unit was called Yan Du. After the Second World War, that name was taken over by Choco Winning, John Choco Winning, who went on to win numerous Australian 12-foot skiff titles. And he had the boat Yandu with a blue and red oval. And as natural progression would have it, his son, John Winning, who is now racing the 18-footers, has taken over that name. Now, John didn't always sail under the name Yandu in the 18s. He came aboard with sponsorship in Travelodge many years ago, but in more recent years, he has adopted the name Yandu, and that is a non-sponsored boat, and it's very much John Winning's boat, and a name that has lived long on Sydney Harbour as a skiff of high quality and always very well sailed by the Winning family. And when John Winning won his JJ title in 2000, he was racing a boat called AMP Centrepoint, but subsequent years he has got Yandu. Now Andu, which is obviously a derivation of Yandu, dropping the Y from the front, is part of the Winning group of companies. It is a company that supplies furniture under the Winning group. It's a relatively new company. It's an online company, so you can buy your furniture from Yandu and a part of the Appliances Online group. So that's the difference. They both really come into the Winning family. One unsponsored, which is Yandu, and the other one, which is Andu. And Rob Head asked, is Andu the old Winning group? No, Andu and Yandu, if you're not confused already, both Yandu and Andu are new boats this year. And Andu of last year...
It's Fisher and Paykel? Oh, no.
Andu of last year is the Burrawang Hotel.
Burrawang, that's right. And then you've got the... Fisher and Paykel was the Winning group.
Was the Winning group of last year.
And the Yandu from last year is now the Balmain Slate Racing team. So there you go.
I hope you're all confused. It sounds like an Andrew Buckland answer, but I tried to make it as clear as I could.
Clear as mud, Pete.
Anyway, Andrew, I'm sorry to be so unkind. There's another question.
Hard but fair, Pete. Hard but fair.
Hard but fair. J.D. Clancy has asked, can you explain the meaning of gauge? Sometimes we say he's got good gauge. One's got good gauge over another. So, Andrew, in less than 5 words, explain, please.
Less than 5 words. Usually refers to the width of the railway track, Pete, is my understanding.
Right. Okay. Very good. For once, very brief. But
no, sorry, that was a bit frivolous. But Mr. Clancy, gauge just means you know, you can gain to windward or to leeward, as the case may be, by gauging further downwind, as in sailing a slightly deeper angle, or gauging upwind by sailing slightly higher. And usually it's by slightly different wind directions, of course, but equally there are some technical methods for sailing slightly deeper and lower, where you're not trying to maximise velocity, you're trying to maximise true wind angle going downwind, or minimise true wind angle going upwind.
So it gives you a bit of leverage off the other boat, really.
Yes.
To a certain extent. A bit of distance. Okay, thank you, Andrew.
And Pete, I think we did have a question from somebody, and I can't recall who, about windward heel upwind. Somebody saying, why do they sail upwind with so much windward heel? Not sure who that came from. Well, I mean, it's a pretty interesting thing, I think, and this won't be 5 words, but
sorry, Andrew, just before you answer that, and we'll come back to that, we're now at the starting area in Athelbite. Just give us a quick summary of what you're seeing wind-wise, weather-wise, please.
South-southwest 12 to 18 right here, right now. Okay. And no big bits of grey cloud coming, Pete, so that probably suggests that conditions will continue to moderate.
Okay, good. Okay, heel upwind. Go.
Heel upwind, okay. You might think, okay, the boat's not heeled over, so the centre of buoyancy is now on the windward side of the boat, so the riding moment is less. Why then are the top boats sailing with windward heel? And there's kind of 3 elements, I think. One element is the crew closer to the water surface lowers the windage of the crew, because the crew's more immersed in the shallow boundary layer of lower wind speed, as is the windward wing. Second reason is that the tip losses on the foils are reduced by, if you like, negative angular heel, because the downflow tends to be reduced, and so the tip vortex of the rudder and centreboard is reduced. And similarly for the rig, the tip losses are slightly reduced. The upwash in the tip vortex generated by the 2 sails is reduced by the rig being inclined to windward. So all of that added together is appears to be, and obviously it's impossible to measure, but appears to deliver a slightly better result than slight amounts of leeward heel, which might have been the way that we might have sailed 30 years ago. How'd I go, Pete?
Average.
Average, all right, fair enough.
Now, Andrew, 12 to 18 knots, you said before, about 2 minutes ago. What are you seeing now?
20.
20 plus. Okay, we're at Athol. There's the race committee principal race officer, Doug Cameron, in the red, going down to lay the start mark. Very brown water on the harbour after all this rain, and there's plenty of wind, south-southwest.
Pete, I was going to say 20 with plenty of fresh water coming out by the look of the water surface.
Yes,
amazing,
clearing away to the west or the southwest.
Yeah. And
just to finish up on the Andu, we've got Andu is also available. Hang on, I've got some message here. Where did you get that from? Well, don't worry about that. Andu is also selling furniture and appliances online with stock available for the next day delivery in New Zealand. So there you go. Now that came from a bloke I taught to sail, so don't worry. Hello, Troy. There you go.
Right.
So,
now, Pete, should we send a warning to our friends in New Zealand about this low pressure system which is about to go ripping across the Tasman?
Yeah, I hope you get your feet wet, Pete Montgomery. Yeah, and Johnny, his son. But anyway, we've had a few comments, which is great, from around the world. We've got Dave Powies has been watching. Ed Powies' father, Ed on the sheet of Noakes Sailing. He's watching from southern England. Gets up at all hours to make sure we're on our game. So hello to you, David and Jane. And then from one of New Zealand's famous ocean racing yachtsmen, Jeff Stagg, all the way from Annapolis, Maryland in the United States on the East Coast. Hello to you, Staggy. And I think you'll be remembered greatly in certainly in ocean racing circles for what you did with the sailing and your Bruce Farr hat on. It was a remarkable time for you in the 80s and 90s, and we say hello to you. Now, Andrew, I'll throw you a curve ball. Staggy won 3 Hobart races. You don't have to answer straight away. You tell me which 3 he won, and we'll get back to you later for that answer.
All right.
Staggy said to say to you, hello, Andrew, as well.
G'day, Jeff. Great to hear from you, mate.
Yep.
And I would make the statement, Pete, that the contribution to the sport of yachting from the far people in a general way, yourself, Russell, Bruce, etc., incredible. And I would still vividly remember looking at the first time I looked at a far 18-footer construction drawing and rig plan.
What did you change on that, Bucko? Because you can't leave anything alone.
No, we copied it.
Bucko, someone wants to know, why are we on the storm course if it's only 20 knots?
Well, the reason for that is that this has been pretty episodic, what's been going on, and there's still wind speeds being recorded on the ocean in excess of 30 knots, not too far away from Sydney. So, and you know, it's there's a bit of duty of care, all those things that are happening here, and it still will be up and down, and it just, the vagaries of the boundary layer and the land friction determining what actually turns up here. It's still pretty fresh outside the heads.
I think the race officials went out at about 1 o'clock and had a look, and it was still 30 knots plus in the gusts, and probably even a bit more, but that's why they delayed the start. There's really good breeze here now, but it's sailable, I think. There's no doubt about that. It'll be fresh, it'll be brisk, it'll be a lot of thrills and spills again, but I think we'll certainly get a race in, Andrew.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just moseying our way up towards Garden Island, and it's really a brown Sydney harbour. It doesn't come really up on our camera shots, but with all this rain that we've had, it's obviously so much fresh water is now running out, and we've got to run out tight. Andrew, is that the program? Well, the current, the water coming out would be making it run out.
No, that's right. That's right. No, you're seeing a pretty agitated water surface. But,
and they've cancelled the Wednesday racing from the Royal Prince Edward Yacht Club on the harbour, so the harbour relatively clear of any sailing craft and relatively clear of any big power boats. It'll only be the ferries moving their way back and forward across the harbour or down to Manly.
I've seen a powerboat go behind us, Pete, when we were just down there at Bradley's, and he dropped
Unheard
right
of.
off to about 4 or 5 knots. I was like, he must know the what was coming his way.
no, he's heard the code word, kumquat.
Well, so there's that bridge doesn't need describing, I don't think. I think anyone that knows anything about anything would know what that bridge is.
That's right.
So no boats out as yet. We're scheduled for a 3:30 start on a shortened course. Greetings to everyone, wherever you're watching us. I leave the window open foolishly and get drowned, but anyway, never been sailing before. Teach me a lesson. So I think see the fleet coming out shortly, and nice to get an insight. If you're watching earlier, we had an interview with Sean Langland, skipper of Noakes Sailing, and Tim Westwood, the Birkenhead Point Marina, one of the young up-and-comers on the 18-footers, and he jumps off this and goes straight into the Sail GP for Team Japan. A lot of sailing, a lot of these boys. I will report that we might, if you're watching on the last day we were racing, which was Sunday, we saw Ilve Racing, Jono Whitty, have a quite significant capsize down at the Leeward Mark in Obelisk, and they basically capsized right on top of the Sailing Australia steel mark that was there, and the crew got flung into the mark, and we expressed at the time we hoped everything was okay. Well, it wasn't quite okay. Lachlan Doyle, the sheet hand, badly sprained his ankle when he hit the mark. He hit it just below the waterline, which cushioned the blow somewhat, but he's out of action for the rest of the series, and Jono Whitty unfortunately can't get a replacement crew for today. He's working desperately hard to get someone for tomorrow, and we may not have Andrew Buckland tomorrow. I believe, Andrew, you're going to be sailing with Ilve Racing and Jono, is that right?
I've told them to take my name off the list, Peter. God damn.
Well, we can
I was just having a mouthful of water then. I nearly sprayed it everywhere.
We can handle the commentary, Andrew, without you, if that's your worry.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Listen,
you know.
Peter, the older we get, the better we were.
That's right.
I'm confident in telling you that my reflexes are no longer what they might have been.
Okay,
I don't think mine are any good either.
we'll give you a lead pass.
Another sheet hand here, Jimmy Bury.
No.
Well, hey, swing it out for us.
So, Pete, look at this win now, though. So, folks, we're halfway up the beat, essentially.
Yes.
And it was 20 knots a minute ago, and where we are now, it's probably 10.
Yeah, well, there's a good view looking into Darling Point at Rushcutters Bay, and the breeze. Yeah, it's 18:20. It's good. Let's get out here. Let's get a race underway.
Yeah.
They've signified the course. As we keep saying, it's a short and southerly course, and we'll get 2 races tomorrow and 2 on Friday. So that was a scheduled lay day. There's the course. And normally we go to Obelisk in the southerly, but it's been replaced by Chowder Bay, which was Clifton Gardens. That's a great graphic of where we're going and what the boys have got to do. So a lot of zigging and a lot of zagging again. And the harbour is absolutely devoid of yachts, except here's the first skiff out. It's the series leader, Andu. Sevi Jarvin, Matt Stenter and Sam Newton.
So you can see the winning group on the logo on this.
And sort of getting back to more confusion, you can see the winning group logo on the spinnaker. So if Russell Blake, if you're not confused before, you'll be confused now. but that is Andu. New boat this year. And a lot of people's picks to win this title, and Sevi Jarvin, the skipper, as they jive, knows how to do it. He's won 7 of these JJs. He's out to break his own record.
And Pete, we might mention a narrow escape they had yesterday when they actually broke their forestay. Amazing, you know, the boats with new rigging in this particular case, and some metal fatigue issue or something, little tiny sways that holds the headsail up the wire forestay. Forestay broke as they sheeted on to go back after the racing was abandoned yesterday. So not even under full load, and they were lucky enough and attentive enough to be able to rescue the bits without any damage.
Well, amazingly, the only thing they broke when I was speaking to Matty Stenter was the tiller extension.
Yeah.
So, that's incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's a good bullet to dodge, no doubt about that. But I was talking to John Winning Senior in the clubhouse afterwards, and he was saying they're only a 3mm forestay. Is that right, Andrew?
An 8, so 3.3, I think, Pete, technically. Yeah.
3.2.
3.2, sorry, yeah.
Accuracy, Andrew, accuracy.
And 3.2 diform, not rod or 1/19, so.
Okay, all right. Anyway, but it's a small wire, isn't it, really? That loads, but anyway, they've obviously tested it.
Well, you know, the sides, the side stays have got higher load on occasion than the forestay.
What would they be, 5 mil?
No, they're all using 3.2, I think, now. Yeah.
Slightly smaller on the backstays.
Yeah.
Okay, well, interestingly, the first 2 boats out are the series leader, Andu, and the second place, Tech 2, Jack McCartney, Charlie White and Lewis Brake. Having a good series so far, 2 seconds. Very strong performance.
And both these crews, Pete, very confident of their physical fitness and ability to get the job done. And as we've seen by the standard of execution on both these boats in the first 2 races, I mean, the Tech 2 boys will be a bit disappointed that their tactics haven't been quite up to the standard. Equally, Sevi and his guys have been pretty good tactically. They've got themselves out of jail a little bit in one of the races, but the other race they were just impeccable, weren't they? So an all-the-way win. And I don't think we'll see anything too much different today, but if Tech 2 and Andu work close together at the first windward mark, we'd expect them to end the race pretty close together as well, knowing that their speed and execution are very similar.
Quite funnily, also the Rag and Famish is out, so the top 3 on the overalls at the moment. Obviously the keenest to get out here and get more.
First 3 out here,
yeah.
Well,
there's Andu just going down to...
Used to be the other way around.
Or the ferry.
The ferry's got a lot of the past sailors on there today.
Oh, Andu taking a little sniff, Pete. Bit of heel.
It's coming in quite...
Pulses, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's up again here. It's when it goes down, it's down to about 16, 18. When it lifts, it's 20 plus, I guess. So good testing conditions, but a good sailing breeze. There's no one else out. These three are the only three out, as Jimmy said. The Rag, Andu, and Tech 2. You'll see shortly that there it is, the purple spinnaker of Harry Price and his team aboard the Rag. Josh McKnight and Harry Hall. Darling Point in the background. We're still a few minutes off a start time. We're probably about 20 minutes or so off the scheduled start time, 3:30 Sydney time. So you've just joined us, you haven't missed anything. The start has been delayed because of strong winds on the harbour, and there was probably come 1 o'clock Sydney time. It was doubtful whether we'd get a race, but the officials have been out, they've had a good look. I think we've got a good fresh breeze day to race in on a shortened southerly course.
Pete, the officials are certainly ready to go. All the marks are laid. The pin mark on the start line has just been inserted. The top and bottom marks we have sighted on our way, and the other two marks at the other end of the course, the other end of the figure eight, are permanent laid Sailing Australia marks. Steel spar, boys, as certain people's legs and ankles will tell you.
I just want to go back to the race on Sunday, which was, we just summarised that. Well, the Saturday race, I'll start with that. That was sailing a nice, lovely nor'easter, really, sort of 10 to 12 knots, maybe got up to 14 at the end. And that was a lovely sailing day, and everyone basically got round the track. But Sunday was a very different race. It was squally, a lot of rain at times, plenty of wind, and the fleet again had a really tough trip around to get the job done. I'd like just to pay tribute to Lazarus Development. They were finished last, and by no means wanting to demean their performance, but they were a long way behind. But they hung in there and they got the job done. Hugo Stoner, Hugo Lemming and Alex Watson. I mean, they were almost, again, I'm not really criticising them, I'm just really saying what a great effort it was to hang in there. I'm sure they had a number of capsizes. They finished almost an hour behind the winner. So you can go a long way in an 18-footer in an hour. But, I mean, that's the sort of thing you like, you know, to see those boys. They easily have thrown the towel in, and after the first lap and said, oh, we're so far behind it, we're going to go home and get dry and warm and head into the club. But they went the distance, and I think that full credit to those boys.
They got an hour extra practice, Pete.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm as I say, I'm certainly not trying to criticise in any shape or form. I'm really trying to praise them for going the distance in very tough conditions. And similarly, a vet Heritage in Noakes Blue, she finished half an hour in front of them. So, and she did a great job as well. I mean, tough conditions. So well done to those teams that mightn't be on the front row of favouritism. They were really should be proud of their effort in really strong conditions from Sunday. And today is not going to be much easier either. We're just looking upwind at Tech 2 back near the ferry, and there's the coming across.
Pete, I mean,
is up again.
As the viewer would know, you know, the Sunday race, the breeze got up very solid on the front of a rain squall down the first run, and as difficult conditions as you can imagine, with no visibility and a substantial head sea addressing the fleet as they bounced and jibed downwind to the bottom market at Obelisk. About as tough conditions as you can imagine for an 18-footer on Sydney Harbour at least.
Just wanted a bit more east in it to make it extremely difficult.
Yeah. Well, today's race, the trophy, is the AJ Reynolds Trophy. Tony Reynolds, he was the president of the Australian 18-footers League from 1979 to 84. Awarded life membership in 1982, and he's heavily involved in the planning and construction of the present clubhouse, and was Commodore when the present racing rules for the 18-footers were introduced in 1993. So he was a big mover and shaker, and he did a lot for this class, Tony. So in, I guess, thanks or For him, they're naming today's race the AJ Reynolds Trophy. So I don't know whether you're watching or not, Tony, but if you are, we say hello to you. I haven't seen you for a long while, but you really put a lot of effort into making this class what it is today. As we see some of them now coming out of Double Bay, the spinners are starting to pop up. Looks like the Oak, is it? The
Yep,
Oak, the Oak.
Royal Oak 4 Pines.
Have a bit of a flap, but he's just spinning set up as the freshwater ferry goes across on the way to Circular Quay. And today's race sponsor is North Sails. Saw Mark Bradford, the Australian boss, in the park a bit earlier. Skipper, of course, of Blackjack, the Sydney Hobart Line Honours winner. So he's obviously having a good look at the fleet, seeing who's carrying North Sails, and if they're not, why not?
There's Finport. That's not a question, Bucko.
That's a statement.
The West Australians.
Yeah.
Black Swan.
Black Swan. Finport,
Yeah.
Keegan York. I don't think he finished. What happened to Keegan? No, he did not finish on
No,
Sunday.
he had a breakage. Had to go home.
So,
Yeah.
Keegan sponsors himself
okay, another
with Finport.
Another privateer, he'd call it.
Another self-sponsor.
Yeah.
Been at it for a while now. He's been up and down. And he's had a couple of good days throughout the year.
And Keegan also sailed a falling moth, but I think he's planning a new ship for next year, Pete.
A new 18, is he?
Yep.
Okay. With Bryce Edwards and Phil Marshall. He's had a 14th and a 26th, which is I did not finish. So.
Yeah. But for the viewers, he the last day of racing prior to the Giltinans, we sailed 3 little races. And he was the leader on that day. Sorry, 4 races.
4 races,
and
yep.
he was the points winner on the day with very consistent scorecard in less wind than we've had for this part of the week. So perhaps, and we're anticipating that essentially the breeze is going to lighten toward the end of the regatta, and this be the last day that it's seriously uprange, we think.
Yeah, we'll talk through us tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Andrew, the early forecast.
Well, tomorrow we just got a reduced version of this southerly, probably. Yep. And we're going to race on Friday, southeast.
Right.
Yeah.
12 knots.
12, yep.
Saturday and Sunday look super light,
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah.
Lucky to get to 10 knots both days.
Saturday and Sunday in single figures, easterly-ish.
Yeah.
So just the normal progression of the low pressure cell on the onset of the high. Back to sort of normal autumnal weather. I mean, the Weather Bureau said that, the La Nina effect was declining, or it's not declining quick enough, but it looks like the weekend will be normal autumn kind of weekend here in Sydney. So that generally lighter air and easterly, and no sea breeze, not much sea breeze to speak of, because the seawater's still very warm, and so just nice balmy conditions. So it might change the leaderboard around a bit, Pete. We don't really have a good fix on, and the weekend races are long course. So long course, light-ish air anyway.
Just looking at our weather observations, the strongest gust we had so far on the harbour was 45 knots at 1:20 this morning.
Yeah,
What was it like when you were getting home, Andrew?
It was pretty frisky. Oh, no, I hadn't left the club at that point, mate. It was all right.
Okay. At the moment, it's settled down to about 24 knots, gusting 26 about 10 minutes ago. But North Head's only down to 14 knots. Fort Denison, 16, gusting 20. So that's probably roughly where we are.
Yeah.
We're in Athol, waiting for the start of race 3 of the JJs for 2022. Now, Andrew, have you worked out what the 3 Hobart winners that Jeff Stagg was on?
I'd forgotten the question, Pete.
Okay.
Oh, Staggy.
It's a trick question.
I know. That's why I won't answer it, right?
Trick question.
I should have done some more homework, eh?
Do you want the answer?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. 1980 on New Zealand, which became Ceramco New Zealand for the Round the World race.
Yeah, I could have had a stab at that one.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
1997, Beau Jest.
Of course. I wouldn't have got that one.
No, and you would have never got the third one because it was a de facto win. Drake's Prayer,
Oh.
1985.
With yourself and PP Kurtz amongst others.
Yes.
Sorry about that one,
Yeah,
Stevie.
we're very. We
Yeah.
only think about that twice a day.
That's right.
Anyway,
Shippo hasn't given up on it yet.
there's our friends from Germany, the Black Knight, Heinrich von Bayern, the Prince of, what's he, the Prince of something?
Prince of Bavaria, mate.
Bavaria, that's right.
Bavaria. So I was having a beer with those boys last night and having a bit of a laugh about a few things, including beer quality. Oh, jeez.
Did they understand you, Bucko?
No, we were going okay.
Okay.
Have they priced their beers standardly above $14 like every other beer that you like, Bucko?
Oh, they don't appear to be all that price sensitive, that group, actually, Jimmy.
There's the Borough.
And I had to buy them a beer. I don't know how that works, but I had to.
There's a first, you shouting.
That's right.
Simon Nern, Rory Cox and Brandon Bayink. They've had an 8 and 14 and currently lying in 10th spot. As I say, can't read anything into the point score at the moment. So we're hopefully about 15 minutes away from a start in race 3.
So, Pete, I was having a beer with Brando last night as well, and he told me about his second race on the 18-footer when he come straight from the keelboat. And he was still trying to figure out how to trapeze effectively, he said. But they said, drop the kite, and he went to leeward to pull it in on the leeward sheet. And he said the instructions and training was a bit underdone. Oh, dear. So,
Who's the Noakes Youth? Young bloods?
Yeah, they're the boys, Noakes Youth, one of Sean's 3 boats. Tom, Finn and Harry Smith, an 18 and a 9th so far. And they were the handicap winners on Sunday. Harry Smith, the son of Ian Smith, a famous name on the Australian ocean racing scene.
That's Lazarus Capital Partners, Marcus Ashley Jones, Cam Gundy and Geronimo Harrison.
He said he wants a fresh Marcus, so anyway, he got his wish. He got his wish. They're up there with a 10 and a 6 so far. That's Wronga Park Zoo Wharf in the background. We're right in Athol Light, just to the western side of Bradley's Head. And the breeze still good. What's 18, Andrew, I guess?
a bit more coming in the next pulse, Pete.
Yeah, okay.
Looking up wind above 20.
I think there's everyone out. There's one boat still in. I can see a spinnaker, a couple of spinnakers still to come out of Double Bay.
Yep. Not too far off signals.
No.
That's
So stand by. So, but if you've just joining us, it's just one race today. It's been delayed the start, so you haven't missed anything. We're hopefully about 10 minutes to get underway. The first leg, Jimmy, up to Clark Island. Which way are we going to go, left or right?
I think probably in the right. Shippo, the mark was to the right side of the island as well, so I think you...
Andrew, you going left or right?
Oh, they moved it even further. I just
No,
picked
they-
it up. It's right on the end of the wall for the CYCA, Pete.
Yeah.
How far they've moved it.
Oh, wow, it's right up into the right. You're exactly
Yeah.
correct.
Well, Pete, I think it's just going to be a risk management day, isn't it?
Yes.
Just find a lane or find a way to tack away if you haven't found a lane. And, you know, the start line looks pretty square to the wind. So
In the second heat on Sunday, that's what Andrew did. He had to take a lot of sterns. He wanted to get out to the right, came back on starboard and led round the first mark and was never headed after that. So it was, again, good sailing by Sevy and his team. There's the kitchen maker coming out.
you know, a bit of tide relief if you tack early onto port. No escaping on, you've got to cross it though, so you might as well cross it only once.
Yeah.
no point of being on port in the adverse current, so try and get your port leg in early, I think, because there's no scope for the port leg up the top, really.
So majority of the fleet out, and we're just waiting to get underway.
And not on screen. The burrowing just bit the dust, trying to bear away to come back down to the start.
They look like they had a bit on it earlier on anyway.
Yeah.
So looks like the last two coming out is the Kitchen Maker and Lazarus Capital Developments, the young team of Hugo Stoner, Hugo Lemming and Alex Watson.
So they are now right at the limit of making it to the start on time.
25 boats in all will be on the starting line, hopefully.
We're not seeing Shaw and Partners, Jimmy.
Negative, mate. I think the mountain they had to climb might have just been that.
Yeah, no, a bit too high. But they don't,
too hard.
you know, Lindsay said the sheet hand is, you know, pretty proficient fellow, and they got the spare new C-Tech tube out of the club, which is thoughtful, and new wires overnight, etc., etc. And they're just trying to get it to fit the mast step. There's a few issues around the mast step when I last talked to them. But, at least they'll be ready for tomorrow.
Might be a big rig day tomorrow, though.
I doubt it.
Certainly for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
After that, I think, Andrew. Yeah.
Tomorrow's probably going to be little rig, and the rest after that big rig. So a bit of a mid-regatta change. It's not unusual entirely. But
At least
Peter,
they get to use both rigs.
Yeah. Peter, I do recall once when I was sailing with Ian and Don in the Colour 7, we had a state title at the end of the year, and I think it was a 7-race series for some silly reason. Every day, big rig in a 4-rig setup. That was a normal autumnal regatta, right?
Yes.
More or less.
And that's, who's that? That's 2 skiffs capsized.
That would be the Royal Oak, and I think the Bloody Vikings is the bet.
Okay, the Royal Oak, or the Oak, what are they doing? Come on, boys, they've had a reasonably good start to the regatta.
So, Bucko, on screen,
Yeah,
were you always a pest and they made you sit on the floor all the time, or?
Oh, we were paying respect to Victor Everson, I think.
Right, and there's, so walk us through who's there and how many JJ championships between the lot of you.
Well, I'm sitting on the floor.
Pretty cool picture, isn't it?
It's a while ago. Bluey Chapman with the dark hair.
Yep.
Donnie Buckley, who I had the fortune to sail with on the 7 with Ian.
Yep.
Sir Robert Brown. I.G. Murray, a very youthful I.G. Murray.
Slimmed down version of him.
The slim version. Victor Everson, the late former Commodore of the Sydney Flying Squadron.
Yes.
And who's the last chap? Got an ID for me, Jimmy?
No.
Okay, and I'm sorry, viewers. I think the picture was taken in 1979. How's that?
There you go.
Okay.
What have you know and what you're in for?
Yeah.
So, just in signals now, Pete.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go
less than
reposition
5
ourselves.
minutes to go. We've got 3 boats capsized. The Burrowang's still upside down. The Oak, they got to get themselves up. And also, we think the Germans, is it?
No, I think the Bloody Vikings.
Oh, the Bloody Vikings.
Yes.
Bloody Vikings. Oh, it's still fresh here. Andrew, what do we got? We've got a south-southwest of, what, 18?
Yeah, a bit more, maybe 20. There are a few spots.
We're at the starting area. Race 3 about to get underway. Just over 4 minutes to go.
And the fleet not in good order, Peter.
No, certainly not. There's 4 minutes.
There's the guys from Queensland.
Dave Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Marr.
Boy.
Oh,
Bit of a handbrake too.
anyway.
Been watching Andrew.
Trying to emulate Andu from... There's Andu in the background. Just going to see we can do it too.
Speaking to those boys this morning, they were a nice bunch of boys. And there's Andu, nice bunch of boys as well. 3.5 to go. Race 3. Blustery conditions on the harbour. I see Yandu off screen has a reef in. I don't see many others with a reef in. But John Winnie is one to go to a reef fairly quickly, and he's fairly confident with that sail selection. 3 minutes 15. And everyone's playing very cautiously. They're a long way from the starting line. They won't be holding up here. And
yeah, so all the crews trying to minimise manoeuvring in the last couple of minutes. It is uprange now, above 20 here, Pete, maybe up towards 25 knots.
250 to go.
And Woody's doing something which is a bit dangerous here, Pete, I think.
Getting above the line.
Getting above the line. Maybe he can't get the bow down, but he's now
back from the line.
Compelled himself to do a bear away at some point.
The hardest part is right now is where you're just not actually race sailing, like where you're just trying to dumb the boat down as much as possible.
Okay, we've got 20 knots, I'd say, here right at the start. 2:20 to go of race 3. A couple of boats that were capsized have got themselves up and going. The Oak, I think, is up. Burrawang is up down at the leeward end. There's Yandu. Who's this coming back? Is that the Rag or the Oak? There's the Oak, I think, just above the committee boat. So they've extracted themselves from the water. The Balmain Slate way upwind. She's going to struggle to get here in time with 1:57 to go.
Yeah. Finport also above the line.
Yeah, another boat way above the line. Is that the bloody Vikings, is it?
That's the Vikings up there.
They were upside down. They've now got the boat up, but they're way upwind of the mark. They look as though they could be going home, I think. So it's 1:30 to go. Race 3, breeze down a little, 17, 18 knots. Going to have a very good race. The first race is to Clark Island, the first short windward beat, and then the rather tricky run down to Chowder Bay, Clifton Gardens. There's the start line. Minute 15 to go.
So just looking back down at the fleet, the favourites are all racked up towards the boat end, Pete. Above the boat end at the present time, but good time and distance stuff going on here. I can see
there's a minute to go. 1 minute to go in race 3.
From the left of that shot, Bar and Grill, Tech 2, Noakes.
Okay, there they are.
Andu punching towards the leeward end, Pete.
Okay,
50
45 seconds to go, and I can say that the bloody Vikings are going home. They will not be starting, so it's a disappointment for them after breaking their boom on Sunday, but 35 seconds to go. All stacked up on starboard tack. Lazarus Capital Developments will miss the start. They were way upwind of the starting line. We've got 22 seconds to go. They're all hanging back. I would say at this stage we're going to get a clean start.
Everybody's late, including Andu, but it's okay. Yeah.
Way late. 13, 12, 10. Okay, here they come. Very confidently predict no one's going to be over here, Andrew.
Yeah, there's no use of the recall flag today. Thank you, Pete.
Put that in your pocket. Yep. Okay, we're away. Clear start. Race 3. Tech 2 and Rag and Famish up at the committee boat end have got the start. And in the middle, Noakes Sailing. Got a very, very good start. Andu and Smeg well back.
So Tech 2's...
That's a serious reef on the 18-footers.
Yeah.
Wow, he's got a shortened sail now, Mel. 18-footer, but we're away. Tech 2 looks strong. But the boat that looks stronger is Noakes Sailing. He was down the middle of the line and further advanced. No one was anywhere near the starting line. They were very, very cautious.
Yeah.
Smeg got very, very deep and is a long way behind now. She hasn't got many behind her. She's tacked to come across on port. Tech 2 is tacked. Noakes Sailing, the early leader.
And now way better pressure on the right edge, Pete.
Yes, it's down here. It's only 15, 16 knots, I guess.
Yeah.
So the 4 boats that are still on shore, Shore and Partners, Noakes Blue, AOL and Ilvay.
Okay, they didn't make it out here. Thanks, Jimmy. So we're underway on a very brown Sydney Harbour. And the breeze okay. A bit spiky in the right, but not too much in the middle. It's the Lazarus Partners. And they're all now getting across on port to go out to the right.
Yeah, so in the right-hand pack.
Andu was buried, but he's worked his way very quickly through. He'd probably be about 3rd or 4th. Germans are well positioned. Rag and Famish, he looks about 6th, I'd say. Harry Price. To the right of him is Andu, and in between them is the leader. Noakes Sailing, Sean Langman. doing a fine job. The mark is well in the right. It's right in the mouth of Rushcutters Bay, and the fleet going hard to the right. Tech 2 well positioned. It's Andu and Noak sailing there. Smeg. In front of him is Finport. These boats are really extending up into the low line here, Andrew. I think they're short of it, well short of it now, but I think most of them will go as far as they can here. Still plenty of good breeze, relatively flat water. And quite good conditions now, Andrew.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. We're travelling with Finport. Breeze about 18 knots, water nice and smooth. Boats are ripping out towards the starboard tack ley line. And not too far to go for the leaders.
You might have to interview Sean Langman before the race every day, Shibbo.
Well, yeah, well, he got off to a good start. I gave him a few tips, actually, Jimmy, off camera.
Right, that's yesterday, obviously, his 60th birthday. Yeah. Hang around the club long.
So he obviously listened to me. But Tech 2 looks strong also. He's really got some good speed. He'll be first to tack.
And he's pretty close to that, Pete, isn't he?
Not far off it. Will he cross Noakes when he goes back? That's going to be the question.
Here he goes.
The on starboard tack. So he's got a strong position, Tech 2, to go back. Andu is tacked short. There goes Tech 2. And Noakes is tacked under him as well. Looking for a tight lay, Noakes. I don't think he'll lay from there. But they're the three leaders.
Good stuff. Yeah, Tech 2's on, I think, what looks like a comfortable lay.
He's absolutely smoking there, Tech 2. You can see him. I think he just slightly cracked. Noakes looking for height to get there. And Andu also trying to squeeze. I think Andu will be short. Tech 2 should lay. Noakes should lay too, I think. Just a little bit of a right-hander.
Yeah, Noakes just eats his jib, so he is laying.
Okay, Tech 2's going to roll, trying to roll him, but Noakes will get up, I think, and will be first round. Yes, he will. Easy lay, and I think Andu may lay even also.
They caught quite slowly in the dirty air, though.
Yeah, but anyway, there goes Noakes. He leads. Down the chowder we go. Tech 2 second, and Andu handily placed in third, and then Smeg, defending champion, will be fourth. Most of the fleet coming in on starboard now. They've gone right out to the ley line. Good set from the Noakes boys. Tech 2 and Andu.
Now the trick here, Pete, is when to jibe.
Exactly. We're going to run into a bit of a lee from Clark Island.
Yeah.
Okay, Smeg's going round now. He's fourth. Then Finport will be next, just up to windward of Fisher Paykel. And then the Rag, there's Fisher Paykel round. After him will be Yandu with a refin. Then outside him, the Rag and Famish. Then our German friends, the Black Knight.
Having a bit of trouble getting the bow down.
Oh. Okay, we're just...
Where you going, guys?
A little bit of a problem there, but we're okay. There's a capsize.
Hung up by the fruity.
The bad capsize.
On the WA boat.
Is that Black Swan, is it?
Yeah.
I think Black Swan. Okay. Had a bad capsize there as Noakes Youth go round. Then Balmain Slake. Royal, the Oaks well back. I don't know what happened to them.
Just had one of the spectator boats crash into us while we were sitting here stationary.
Well, that was a bit of a drama for us, so I think we're all okay. Someone not looking, but anyway, we're away with the Barrawang and the Balmain Slake. Just gone round the mark. After them comes the 80-foot bar and grill, then Royal Oak, then Sea-Tech, long way back. But anyway, we're on the reach down to Chowder Bay. And they're screaming down. They're laying Bradley's just, Andrew.
So interesting there. Andu jibe down at the top.
Andu nearly into windward.
Yep.
Almost. No, they'll save it. Okay, Yandu, okay, there's the Black Knight. Germans just ahead of them. We'll be shortly. Fisher Michael, we'll see them. Racing down towards Bradley's, there's Fisher Michael. Quite a short run to Chowder Bay.
Wow.
Rag in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position. Fifth forward. Just getting around Bradley's in 5th.
There you can see the water colour difference.
Yes, as you're right, Jimmy, the brown water from all the rain we've had. Top right is Tech 2 in the red shirt. To leeward of him, Noakes. Then Smeg, who's rolled over the top of Andu, got himself into 3rd position. Very tight here. The next mark's going to be very critical. Tucked around the point. I think they're going to go out and try and get the port giant. Lay line, haven't they, Andrew, here?
Yeah, but it's
Couldn't approach it any other way.
no. Yeah, you need to go in and port and do a jibe drop. I think it'll be the optimum. Plenty of wind down at the centre of the course. Probably a wind speed here up towards 25 knots. We're alongside Smeg and just behind Tech 2, travelling at about 30 knots in the camera cat.
They're in full noise, you can see plenty of white caps. They'll round this mark and go up.
And quite bumpy too, Pete.
Yep.
Are you up for the jibe, son?
I'm ready. Big breaths.
Yeah.
Okay, here goes Tech 2. Not far off. There he goes. This is critical. This lay line.
Noakes.
Oh, Noakes is gone. Noakes is gone.
So
Into windward and bow down.
Tech 2, good safety jibe.
Yep. They've got a little bit of runway to come back on starboard, so they might get away with going in early and then coming out on starboard. Noakes is... Oh, Smeg's perished too. Smeg's
Just do a jibe drop here, Pete. Tech 2.
Gone. Oh, dear. Yeah. 2 of the 3 leaders are all over. Smeg and Noakes. Neither of them can really afford a bad performance as we're watching Andu jibe. This is fresh here. Tech 2 holding good lead. Andu playing
Tech
safe.
2, Tech 2.
Oh, Tech 2's gone too. Tech 2's over.
Yep.
Oh dear, this is a graveyard. So I keep saying, and Andu
Face of the squall, and Andu took the chute off.
took the chute off. Oh, looks grey and miserable looking upwind. So Tech 2 over, Smeg over, Noakes over, Andu still afloat, Finport still afloat.
Wow.
Wow, this is really brisk again here. It's really brisk. Oh dear, oh dear.
Survival job in here.
Yeah, wow, gee. All 3 of the top 4 bailed out. Andu's still got a bit to do.
I didn't see what happened to Tech 2, but
There goes Andu.
two-sail jibe.
Yeah, he's well below the mark, but
Safe.
he'll come up and very safe. Oh, there's Tech 2 still in the water. Finport and the rag going around him. So there's Finport still got a jibe or granny or whatever he's going to do. And there's Andu on his way. He's just around the mark. A long beat up into Rose Bay, Shark Island. Finport's around. Keegan York. Oh, rag and famish.
Nice granny.
Nice granny inside them. They got to get the bow down. They will, I think. Harry Price. Okay, Harry Price got himself into 2nd.
And famously, they won their first 18-footer race, that team, in a
strong.
gale force norwesterly by hiding from the wind to some degree, but managing.
There's the Germans in Black Knight. They'll be next.
I was speaking to the 2 boys up the front of that boat earlier, Thomas and Andy, and they were saying that they were disappointed so far and that they're going to lift their game. So
Okay, well, there's,
hopefully they get around
they're going to
here.
lift their game here. They'll have a bit on here. They'll bit of real estate in front of them. There's Andu, and there's a couple of boats, Balmain Slate with the orange chute, Burrawang Hotel, the blue chute. They're all dropping early, and they've got to get the jibe or tack done. Here's Yandu. You'll see him in a moment. You'll see how fresh it is. Just playing very safe. The old campaigner. The Germans haven't gone round the mark yet. Here comes Yandu. He's still, what's he going to do? Here he goes. No.
On the granny.
Okay. Smart manoeuvre. It's very fresh here.
Yep. So
He's
Tech
around
Tech 2 up out of the drink, yet to get underway fully, but
Okay, there's Balmain, Slake and Fisher and Peichel
trying
next.
to compose themselves.
Tech 2. Okay, Yandu's round. Well, he's not round the mark, but he's round. Done the tack. There goes Fisher Peichel attacking as well. Jordan Gertis, his crew.
There's Germans.
They're the Germans.
Take 2.
Yeah, take 2.
Around it, boys.
So how's that? Oh,
Now they're
Tech
gonna
2.
granny. Okay, Tech 2's got himself up and one round.
Tell them.
In the background, Burrawanki's not around the mark either yet. Here comes Balmain Slake screaming in. They're okay.
Oh, Burrawang, wow.
Burrawang, they're in.
Top of screen there.
Top of screen, they're all over. Now, we haven't seen Smeg hasn't got himself up yet. Noakes haven't got themselves up.
Lines on, please.
Rollo.
Right, okay.
Just got the job done.
Okay, well, it's a survival of the fittest here. I haven't seen Marcus Ashley Jones come down yet in the Lazarus. Noakes is still upside down, I think. Now Smeg has got himself upright. There's the Burrawang still capsized. There's the Royal Oak. And there's Smeg. Gee, that was some carnage there.
We might.
Yeah, so Pete, just a combination of the face of the squall, 2 giants in short succession, and some pretty bumpy water.
There's the Black Swan. Looking very square.
Yeah, that might not be the setup for a successful giant, Pete, but
No.
they're out the back of the big puff, though, so it might be a bit easier for them, potentially.
Every time we get to the leeward mark in the southerly, the breeze seems to spike up 4 or 5 knots. It really makes
Well, that's where you had a
Spectacle.
fun day where that bottom mark was in the vintage
Yes.
Hobart Boats Day, wasn't it, Shipper? Yeah.
Yep, capsized.
We just hopped off filming you, and then you go and do that.
Yeah. Good IRR boats. They love going downwind in fresh conditions. Not.
Pole back.
Yep. Okay, Fisher Peichel, the Oak. Bradley's head is in the background. So this is going to be an interesting race, probably for the minor places, as Andrew really was handed a gift then when Smeg capsized, Noakes capsized, Tech 2 capsized, all in the leading group.
Yep, the new low-risk model of Andu, Pete.
Yeah, they dropped early, very safe.
Jibe drop, so that,
And they are a long way ahead. They're
Yep.
2.5 minutes plus in front, I would say. Or is that Finport?
yeah, Finport on the Nielsen Park shore there.
Second.
Fisher and Keuchel. Kitchen Maker going downhill.
Yeah. He's a long way back, but he's a few boats in front of him have capsized. There's the Queensland C10 right of screen. Specs got himself out of a bit of trouble. He's got the job in front of him here. Smeg to get into a reasonable position. He's already had a bad race.
So Jimmy, Finport with a refin up here.
Yeah.
Unusual for those boys.
I think that rig's a bit more balanced with that
Yeah.
reef in. Like,
Yeah.
I just think like it's a little bit too overpowering for them for the crew weight that he's got this year compared to last.
Okay, so he'll be third, I think, Finport. And then Rag and Famish coming out of the left. Cross him shortly in second spot. Shark Island's the next turning mark. There's the ferry, and behind him is the Rag. Harry Price, Josh McKnight, Harry Hall.
There's summer repairs going on the Rag and Famish, Pete.
Someone sitting in, is there?
A vang problem of some kind.
Gee, it's
Yeah,
a
they're
bit-
in that
it's
area.
A deep reef in the Finport, Andrew.
Yep. Little reef.
Doesn't look quite right.
So they've got a bit of a jump over the next following group, who are battling out for fourth. There's Finport and Yandu behind him in about fifth position.
Okay, go. Yep, all good. Right up. Yeah, come across the handle.
So how much breeze we got here, Andrew? It's down at what, 15, 16 perhaps?
Not even 16.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So this might hurt Finport a little with the reef in, but nonetheless, certainly not hurting Andu.
No,
And again have a big lead at this turning mark. Only one race today. This is the third heat.
and it'll be over pretty quick in this wind direction and speed. You know, the court's only about 10 miles, so the lapse time will be an hour.
Two sail reach down to the next mark after the turning mark at Shark Island here. They're not far off a ley line here, these boys. Oh, they must have heard me. There they go. 1, 2, 3. Lovely, just a little back of the jib to get the head down.
Get the flow reattached as well, and
yeah, there's not much wind here. It's 14 knots at best.
Yep. But the
Nice, easy lay now, Andrew.
enough west in the breeze,
The
Peter.
timekeeping was a bit off the other day. Let's see if you can get some accuracy here.
Swiss
Swiss watch, mate. Swiss watch.
It's only a digital. It's only an analog watch, Pete. It's not, you know.
Come on, come on. I don't want to hear your problems.
I was worried at 2 o'clock when you didn't turn up whether your watch had stopped again.
No, she's right.
Okay, here we go.
60.
I'll tell you when they're round, Andrew. 1, 2, 3, and go.
Copy.
Okay.
So, Pete, make a prediction for us. Who's going to be second
What now, or to finish the race?
at this corner?
Just there in the background too, guys, just quickly, you got Birkenhead Point Marina, looks like they're limping home again,
yeah, okay.
probably more damage.
Right. Okay. Someone thinks the boat should be a box of matches and a gallon of petrol, but anyway. I'm going for second round is going to be Rag and Famish, I think, and he's going to be a minute 50, no, 2 minutes and 7 seconds behind.
2:07. It's a big call, Pete.
Okay, there's Finport third, Tech 2, after the capsize is probably in fourth or fifth.
Yeah, I think Tech 2's clearly fourth.
Clearly fourth, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about, well, Mr. Winning might have something to say about it. Anyway, we watch these two as they, maybe Finport might lay. So
Finport looks like they're laying
for
there.
once I might be wrong.
They've actually stood off the mark quite a
Yeah,
fair
okay,
bit
here
just in
comes-
case they round up.
Comes Harry Price, he's putting the foot down.
Jimmy,
A
their
good
rig set
overlay.
up, the mainsail on the Finport's falling down, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Something, yes, you can see all the creases in the
It's not
luff.
pretty.
No.
No, okay, okay. He's Rag and Famish. I told you he's going to be. Oh, he's not going to be second. How's the time going, Andrew?
It's 1:30
Oh,
something.
it's, wrong in all counts.
That's right, exactly.
Okay, he's there where he is about now.
Now,
okay.
yeah. 1:35.
Okay, good. Still a good lead.
And maybe you're quite right. Mr. Winning will have something to say. He'll be there fourth.
He'll be there fourth. Yandu, the old campaigner.
Tech 2
No
looking
doubt
like
about
they're
him.
trying to squeeze to the mark. It looks improbable. No, exactly.
And look at Yandu. He's off to the.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll get back to him in a minute. There's a Yandu in fourth.
And a big puff coming here
With a
now.
reef in. Good puff.
Big puff.
Now we just keep our eye on Finport, who's sort of battling it out for second. Andrew said it looks like his mainsail's falling down. Yep. You don't go too fast if you do that, but that's second, third, and fourth. Yandu's still having difficulty getting the bow down. No spinnakers, no chance of a spinnaker here. Way up ahead, Andu is battling to make round Bradley's head, but that's the next group is led by Tech 2. Fisher Michael and Royal Oak extracted himself out of the pack. It's 10-2. Plenty of wind again. There's some really gnarly puffs coming over. Point Piper. Tech 2's in a boomer here.
This is the money league, Pete. Big gains and losses here. Overtime for the soul trimmers.
Yeah, hard work. Sheet-handed. There's Yandu. He's comfortable now in fourth spot. We'll get a close look, hopefully, of Finport. There's Yandu, still on Yandu. That's Manly way on the distance. No rain for once on Sydney Harbour. It's a nice, well, not a nice, but a good, hard two-sail reach.
A very tough two-sail reach.
Yeah.
You know, with the breeze probably ranging 12 to 20 or perhaps a little more. Very tough.
Wow. Yeah, way in the distance. The boat's having trouble getting around Bradley's, but Yandu has negotiated. Yandu, there's Rag and Famish at the
big dial up.
Kentucky Fried Mark. Finport's, has his mates all coming down? He's got to refit it, hasn't he, Andrew?
He's got a reef in, but he's got no love tension.
No, you can see all the creases certainly down low. Now he's in the really good vein of wind. There's the Bradley's Head Kentucky Fried Marcus, is well known on Sydney Harbour. Keegan York.
And it's not where they had a Kentucky Fried Chicken shop at any point in time.
Bryce Edwards. That's what they've got to negotiate. They've got to negotiate Bradley's. Rag and Famish has done that. Finport looks comfortable. Meanwhile, Andu is screaming away down to the leeward mark. I think he's just gone round. It's way in the distance.
No,
he's short of it, isn't he?
Just short of it.
Okay.
He's about to lap the Lazarus Capital Partners.
Okay.
I think that's in development.
In the distance, Andu's round the rock.
Yes.
Harry Price on the rag, second place. Fourth and a fifth so far in the first two races, the rag. Spectator Ferry, no chance to keep up with the rag. And the breeze, there's a good puff still here, but generally it's dying, I think, Andrew, this breeze. Keeping pace with the rag. And what are we doing, Jimmy?
Just
25?
20, 23, 25.
Round figures.
They really are quick here. So now a clear second to the rag. They've really opened up from Finport. We're hanging into third. Yandu and Tech 2 breathing down their neck. Okay. The rag coming up to the mark. Meanwhile, Andu on the wind back to Clark Island. There they go, laying into Garden Island. They'll probably take a long port tack and they'll almost get to a ley line out off Bradley's Head, but we're watching Harry Price and the Rag and Famish around the leeward mark. In second place, Finport still to come in.
Now, I can tell you something, Peter. Tech 2 had a little problem there at one point.
They must have, because they were right up the exhaust pipe of Yandu. But anyway, we'll concentrate on what we've got here.
Yep.
That's the rag. See that brown water on the harbour, which has got to be expected after all the rain we've had.
Yeah, Sydney's had nearly a year's worth of rain in 3 weeks.
Import around, and then comes Yandu.
Plenty of the fleet having trouble getting the bow down to come to the mark. Tech 2 just coming into the dial up. Nice radius.
Just got a nice text from Aspen, Colorado. There you go.
Who would that be? The mighty Moth. Sevy's dad.
Yep, Sevy's dad. Mothy, hope you're well, mate. Ski well. Stay safe. Steve Jarvin, he's pretty happy with what he's seeing at the moment. But anyway, we're all not quite halfway through. As next round will be
Balmain Slate.
Yeah, Michael, but in front of them, the Balmain Slate. They've come from nowhere. They must have got
No, they were up there.
clean at the Chowder mark.
Well, there's been plenty of snakes and ladders on this
Black
two-star
Swan.
reach, Pete.
Yeah. Royal Oak. Noakes will be behind them, and the Black Swan. You'll just see Noakes. There's the Black Swan and Noakes after a capsize. Have we seen Smeg?
Negative.
We've lost Smeg. I don't think. There's the Queenslander. The boys on C-Tech. Dave Hayter, Benny Roxburgh, and Elliot Marr. They've survived the carnage so far. And we have not seen Smeg. I don't think, Jimmy, have we?
No, I've just found Lazarus Capital Partners, Marcus.
And on screen right now, the German Black Knight with a funny soul sign. But they're hanging in there in the top 10.
Yeah, so the breeze, 16, 17 knots at best. As the Black Swan about to go round the...
Go up and see if we can be run into again. That's developments. They're
being lapped.
yeah.
I don't quite know how that's happened. It must have been capsized at the starting line for a long, long time. Because they're just trying to get to the first mark for the first time, whereas Andrew is going to get to the first mark for the second time. I think they're on a nice lay, Andrew, in the background to the right. They're not really in play, the Lazarus on the left. Going up, they're being lapped. Breeze again a bit spiky, 16, 17 knots. No, they're short. Okay, so they're tacking back. Oh yes, they're well short. They'll go out now. They've a considerable lead now from the Andoo boys. So Andrew, I think it's typical southwester for autumn, isn't it? Puffs come, and it's slowly getting less as the day goes on, but there's still plenty of grunt in the puffs. Yep. Okay, Andrew about 3 boat lengths off a lay, off a rounding. There they are, and would be straight into a shoot, I would think.
Yeah, just enough west in the breeze to make it a bit trickier than usual.
Very conservative last time, and that was the absolute right thing to do. Everyone pushed it a bit, and there was capsize after capsize. Breeze way right. Look at some of those boats like Yandu coming in on starboard. They're a very high right, but anyway, all eyes on the Andu, Clark Island there, top of screen. So they've just got the run down to Chowder, another beat up to Shark, a run down to the starting area, and then back to the finish. And Andu at the moment leads clearly from the Rag and Famish.
Yeah, by quite a long way.
Yes, this is a very considerable lead. Only a short course today, not down to Obelisk.
Yes, and good course selection by the officials. Chowder had sufficient tests.
More than sufficient, Bucko.
So Finport's going to get their second, I think, Pete, despite the funny-looking mainsail.
Okay, that's a good effort. Just remembering that boats can drop their worst performance. There's no funny point score or anything like that. After 5 races, you can drop your worst performance.
It's going further west, isn't it, Bucko?
It has, yes. Look at Yandu coming. These boats are really high on starboard now. So the Rag will get there. Finport, whether his sail's falling down or not, he's done a very good job.
It might not be falling down,
No.
but it's certainly not tensioned.
No, it doesn't look down low, does it? A lot of pressures at the luff, but...
I'll just leave it like that.
Oh, gee.
Anyway,
Rag, second.
A good squirt
Finport
coming.
third, yeah.
A good squirt coming for the bear away here.
Test. There's Tech 2 will be behind Yandu. So Yandu will be 4th, Tech 2 5th.
I think that might reverse when they are on opposite tacks again, Pete.
Let's see.
Let's see how we go here. Take 2 on a lay now.
Make it awkward for Yandu now on port, but anyway, there's the Rag just getting the bow down above him, Finport. And yes, Tech 2 will go round in front of Yandu in 4th spot. Remembering Tech 2's already had a capsize.
Yep. On the face of a good score to set the shoot too.
And Andu is down off Bradley's, Pete.
Yeah, so that was about
just seen in the background the white shoot off Bradley's. Jimmy, thank you. Oh, yeah. Got a shot of Yandu here. Mainson's right off.
2 minutes 10, Pete, the lead.
Let's go. So there's Yandu round the mark. John Winning, Jasper Warren, and Mike Kennedy straight into the spinnaker. Oh, hang on, boys. Shooter on. Berger. Mike Kennedy's nickname. They're off. Following them, which off screen will be Balmain Slate, Fisher Paykel.
Very fresh down the middle of the track now.
Now the big question will be, will they lay Bradley's? Yandu looks comfortable at the moment.
Tech 2 not so much.
Perhaps not. We'll see them shortly, but they're just in front of Yandu. There they go. They've got to negotiate Bradley's head.
I think he'll be okay, but he's certainly on the face of a beauty, isn't he?
You'd be mistaken for that we're on Brisbane River, wouldn't you, with the colour of the water?
That's right.
It's a brown snake.
Now, Tech 2 is nice and low. These boats, 2nd and 3rd, Finport, Rag and Function, are very high. Where Tech 2 is going to just skim Bradley's. It'll really put him into a strong position to really punch hard for a 2nd place. Meanwhile, Andu, way in the distance, is almost at the leeward mark. And as you can see, it was an early drop. Way in the distance. Did what he did last time. Dropped early, just going in, main and Jim.
They went travelling with Tech 2. I would say at full noise, but full VMG as well. So boat speed up towards 27 knots. Just going past the headland shortly. And that's what she looks like. Finport ahead and gauged up to weather. We're on the camera count alongside Finport at 28 knots more or less. Bouncy, bouncy. Finport looks funny with a reef in, but looks pretty good.
Very efficient at the moment.
Yep.
No problem with speed. And 3rd spot.
And good pressure. Wow.
Jibe will be critical here for Finport and the Rag especially.
Just behind Finport there, just around the mark now. Pete?
Yep. He's on his way upwind to Shark Island for the last time.
So some little low grey clouds again, Pete, so some cooler, stronger wind coming.
Okay, there's the Rag. Purple spinnaker, just jibe.
Yep.
Finport. Rag's got a bit of a problem.
No, that's a super safety jibe, Pete.
Okay.
Big super safety jibe.
Just back the chute and
Finport.
The question will be when they come back on port.
The
Tech 2
flow
is well underneath them. She's jibed early, but on the Rag.
And the same deal there, super safety jibe, which they didn't execute well last time. But pretty tricky stuff, and the breeze well up again, Pete. Above 20 knots here.
Rag.
Got Finport just behind the Rag and knocking off their chute, and so are the
overlaid, and she's dropped the chute.
Yeah.
This has opened the door here for Tech 2 to jump into 2nd spot.
Tech 2's going to drop here.
They're going to be well ahead of the Rag and Finport, I would think, who both dropped their spinnakers.
A big shuffle. Tech 2 going to do a safe.
Get the jibe or the granny done, whatever they decide to do.
I think they'll granny, Pete.
I'll just stay here to give them room.
Last time.
Yeah. Might just stay back here a little bit just to give them some room if
See
they want
the
that
white
option.
caps where the breeze is running away from us, so that's always a good sign how fresh it is. If you can see white caps from behind and looking upwind, there's plenty of wind again as we approach the leeward mark here.
Very solid squall coming. I don't know what Tech 2 will do, but we're about to find out. He's got to go well past the mark to get a granny in.
Finport.
Finport blasting in two-sail.
Tech 2's jibe.
Beautiful two-sail drive. Wow.
Okay. Next question will be Finport.
Finport coming in on a boomer.
Yeah, Rag and Famish and Finport both really overcooked.
Tech 2 struggling.
Jibe.
Tech 2 struggling.
Way overlaid, but anyway, so that's opened the door for Tech 2, still in a lot of wind.
So,
Tech 2 and
face of the score.
Famish.
Face of the score here. 25 knots.
Oh, this is plenty again.
Yep.
Wow, this is spiky down here.
Yeah.
You really can't see it on screen, but it is fresh. So the next one to round is Rag and Famish.
Don't say they're round yet,
Well,
Pete.
they're sort of past the mark somewhat.
They're in the proximity.
Just maybe a little bit of a lee as they get a bit further in. Not much.
Yeah.
There he goes. He's going to granny.
They're going to granny. They grannied last time as well, I think, Pete, by memory.
Granny meaning they
Keegan's
tack instead of
got no
jibe.
option where he is. He's
Keegan just ate it.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
So there you go. Trying to do the jibe, do the bear away with a reef in, it was too much.
they're running out of water, mate. Terra firma was not too far away.
No,
It was quite shallow there.
Sailed so well till then.
Didn't have too many options.
Maybe you can fix the main up there.
Yeah, maybe now can pull his mate up. What a bad luck for Finport.
Fabulous action coming down towards us. If
A bit like school, isn't it? Pull your socks up.
Yeah, you can see the white caps now just powering down. Here comes Black Swan, and then Snopes Youth. Royal Oak, they've dropped the chute, as has Yandu.
Fantastic.
Balmain's Slate, they've really dropped back a little. Fisher Pike's in the mix. Anyway, we're on Yandu.
Also with a reef. Let's stick with him and see if he can jibe or granny.
Oh, there's the Royal Oak going over. Royal Oak's gone.
Gone.
This is really fresh. There goes the
And
Black
here goes
Swan.
Yandu, Pete.
Well, the Black Swan's off camera, almost in, but here comes Yandu in a ball of spray. No, safety first for the old. Oh, there's the Black Swan. She's over. Okay, now we'll go back to Yandu. If we can find Yandu. There's Jordan Gertis. He's going to jibe.
Fisher and Pike are trying to jibe. He's done it. He's got in
He
the.
does a nice job. Yandu is granny.
He got in the lead.
Okay. Oh, Fisher
No
and
excuse.
Pike not out of the jail yet. There he is. Okay, and then they're screaming in supports here. Well, mate,
Balmain,
he
how
went
good was
on
that?
From about 20 knots to full stop. He buried the leeward wing in.
He's in a tough spot there now.
Yep. So the Black Swan
Stay with
getting
Balmain.
himself. Finport getting himself up. Black Swan getting himself up. Here comes Balmain. Fisher Pike and Yandu around in the third and fourth spot.
What do you think the young bulls are going to do here?
Balmain's just got himself into the lead enough to get the bear away done. There you go.
Oh,
Here come the Germans.
doesn't look much of a lead there, but
No, he's good, Pete.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you, but I'm not with you.
No. And once again, Bucko hanging off the top of the rig, dragging blokes down.
I said he got into the lead. I didn't say it was a good jibe. Come on.
Well, round in front of him was Noakes Youth, and now here comes the Germans in the Black Knight. Homerick, Von Bayer, Thomas Martin and Andy Martin. Oh, Noakes Youth are in now. Wow, it's breezy again.
You know, it's a pretty difficult corner.
Yeah, and we have not seen Smeg come back, so her day must be over.
Black Swan back in.
Oh, jeez, this is a graveyard of carnage down here. Black Knight going upwind.
I'm going to have to cut to the other side of Shark
C-Tech.
Island to pick up the leaders.
Here's C-Tech. Remember what your grandfather told you, Benny Roxburgh, Kerry Roxburgh, former past Commodore of the CYC, an ocean racing veteran. Come on, Benny. Talk to the boys. Looks like you look comfortable at the moment. So there's Finport getting themselves up. Who's this coming in?
They'll be that close to...
This is Lazarus Marcus, Ashley Jones. He'll be good for a hit and giggle. Oh, there's Noakes Youth trying to get up. Oh, there's the C-Tech. Okay, they're around. Oh, Lazarus. Oh. Up on its stern. Trying to granny, I think.
called a wheel stand in the trade, Pete.
See that lovely coloured water.
Very fruity for a swim, wouldn't it? Oh,
That's Finport. It's gone from second to well back. Oh no.
Royal Oaks over.
Okay. Over. Again, they got her up, now they're back over. Oh, dear. Not many left. Balmain Slate. Just getting himself upright, but what's left of the fleet are trying to get upwind. There's Noakes Youth. I haven't seen Noakes Sailing come back either. So they're out of the picture as well. Neither Smeg or Noakes Sailing, two of the favourites, couldn't afford another bad race. But there's one boat coming down. That may be Smeg off Bradley's Head. It's the first time we've seen him for a while. Well, a survival of the fittest, Andrew.
That indeed, Pete. It's going to upset the point score a bit, but I guess as things stand, Andu leads Tech 2, leads Yandu perhaps, is that right?
I think that's probably right. Yes.
Fisher and Peichel, and then
maybe the Germans,
and then
CTEC. No shoot, the Germans. We haven't missed anyone there. But anyway, right on Smeg. He's about 12th or so, or maybe a little better than that because of all the carnage in front of him. So it's breezy again, south-southwest. There's Andu. Going upwind still. See the breeze. It's up again, 20 plus, easy. Oh, he's around them up, sorry.
Yeah, he's well and truly around the Shark Island.
Reaching towards the Leeward Mark. In the starting area, Athol. He is miles ahead again. Wow. Well, I apologise. I thought he was still going upwind, but no, he's halfway down this reach.
No, Pete. Tech 2's in second, and they're nearly at the top mark.
Yes, correct.
These guys are just really going to be taking it easy here and no risk.
Well, another masterclass here by Semi Jarvin, Sam Newton, and Matt Stenner. That's all you can say. Have to sit back and admire this.
Yeah, and a new low-risk model for Seb. Good stuff.
Well, absolutely right. Early drop of the Spinnaker.
There's a Burrowang getting lapped.
Simon Nerd, the Burrowang being lapped. Rory Cox and Brandon Lane. I think there's right on Bradley's Head here, the Andu. So they've got about 200 or 300 metres down to the turning mark in Athol, and then back up to the finish of Clark Island, Double Bay area. Nice two-sail reach.
There's no such thing as a nice two-sail reach,
Oh,
Peter.
come on.
As an old sheethead, okay?
Yeah, got a nice puff now. Just
Yeah, it's a money-earning day, isn't it?
they're earning their money. Sure, Jimmy.
Yep.
Yeah, boy, this is very solid performance once again. Want to put the mocker on them too early, but
Yep. And the only really risky thing they've got to do is get a dial-up done in this pretty fresh bit of puff here, Pete. Giving themselves a nice radius at the corner here. Mark in the background behind the boat. 4 boat length radius. There we go. Wow.
Oh, the big wheel stand.
Good wheelie. Good wheelie.
oh, it's fresh again.
Yep.
With 20 plus here. Okay, as you'd expect, a classy effort. She's around and way in the distance So halfway along this reaches Tech 2. This is the race and series leader. Quick race, it'll be probably just under an hour.
Yep, burrowing a lap in arrears,
Yes.
having been on the riding lever for some time.
It's a long afternoon for the Burrowang boys. They've got to go do it all again. Whereas Semi can smell the finishing line.
Yeah, one and in, Pete. Starboard tack lay line,
Yep.
and let's have a look.
The finish line, I believe, is over in the traditional spot
Yeah.
where it should be.
In the entrance of Double Bay, indeed.
Yep.
In the distance we can see the ribbon side, the finishing boat.
And maybe a little short of the lay, in fact, but they just tacked before the puff got to them. Big puff coming down out of Rushcutters Bay here.
Just see appearing behind the reach of their mates any second will be Tech 2. Just going in front of them now. Yeah, okay, we're on a different shot, but it's the overhead shot of Andu.
And a big bit of wind. But
So they're
Tech 2 was statutory 2 minutes in arrears, which equals one capsize cost, more or less, I'd say.
There's Tech 2, you can just see it on the left there, barrelling downwind. She's still got about 150 metres to the leeward mark, while Andu's about almost halfway up the final beat. And the third spot, well, it's a long way back. A few boats in the distance, one of which is Yandu. I think Rag's there somewhere. But anyway, we'll concentrate there on Tech 2 in second.
Yeah, just a little bit over 2 minutes, Pete.
But we'll just have a look here at these absolute class of this team.
So plenty of wind there, bit of main flappage. Another little squall coming to get them in a second here. So quite spiky. Wow, look at that.
Really good gust coming down with them now.
Yep.
Just see that inversion of the mainsail. They're back on track. 300 or 400 metres from the finishing line. The boat's still running back down towards Chowder in the background. Blue Spinnaker there. There's a great shot of Andu. Noakes sailing off screen just ahead of Andu going home. It's a shame for those boys.
No,
Are
he's
they? Or whatever they're doing, they're going to capsize, I think.
Yep. No, they're trying to bear away. Wow. It's kind of in the let's not do it that way kind of rule book.
Surely they couldn't be still racing, are they, up there?
They could be. They've been very fresh for the last 5 minutes, Pete. We might just have been trying to bear away to go behind Andu.
Anyway, no drama. All Andu the third time. You'll give us a delta on this, please, Andrew. And we're looking at the winner of heats 1, 2 and 3. Scheduling 2 races tomorrow. That's Thursday, and then 1 on Friday. Is that right, Jimmy? Or 2 on Friday? Okay.
2-2-1-1.
2-2-1-1. No drops in play as yet. Who'd want a drop from Andu? He's going to have 3 wins.
And a good lay line, Pete. Look at that.
Absolutely. A masterclass. No drama at all. Yep. What do you say?
Job done.
Well, job well done. Very, very well done. Yeah. Again, hard conditions. Really tough.
Yeah, tough enough that I think Andu is the only boat not to capsize.
I don't know whether Yandu has.
Possibly not.
No. But
Possibly not.
anyway, back to second. Jack McCartney.
Notes indeed running down to the bottom mark.
They are. Wow, they got themselves really high. They get up there. Anyway, just watching the breeze going way right again. It's almost attacking the Lewin mark and lay in, but Tech 2 will be clear second place, and we can round out with 3 seconds in the series. And a pretty good effort from these boys. As Andrew said, they capsized once.
In the little graveyard down at the Chowder Bay mark. I didn't actually see what went wrong, but it looked like they were going too slowly into the jibe drop. And just a narrow sort of access into that mark.
After a capsize and get up here, that's strong performance as well.
Yeah, capsize with a shoot up, Pete.
And they're keeping, although it's a big distance, I'm sure they're keeping Andu honest with 3 second places.
Yeah.
Just needs somehow to try and get in front of Andu, which is, everyone's trying to do that. That's not an easy job.
Well, I mean, only Andu and Tech 2 have got 3 keeper positions. The rest of the fleet been less consistent.
Yeah, there's more breeze coming out of Double Bay around Clark Island. It's a bit of a lull there. There's more ahead of him, a really good gust about to hit him now.
Then a good spike.
Yeah.
Louis brake with the jib out of the cleat before the gust hit. Good preparation.
Yeah.
Up inside the jib nicely.
Good performance from these boys once again. Still to beat Andu.
It's been remarkable though, hasn't it, Pete? You know, some bits of the wind down 14 knots even, and I guess 14 to 28 perhaps might have covered it.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
But we've got a race in, which is what we wanted.
Yep.
After the disappointment of yesterday.
Completely. So we call that 2 minutes 15, I'd say, Pete, margin.
Okay.
And the boats travel a long way in 2 minutes 15, don't they? You know, and so it can be a bit deceptive, but as you would know from our
Tech 2 across.
tracking.
Andu's finally capsized up in the getting up into Double Bay.
Well, going to capsize is probably the best place to capsize, Jimmy.
Absolutely.
Very solid pressure coming. Well,
Yeah.
it'll make it tough.
Need to
Okay, here
get
we
some
go
water
for
on those
third.
windows. I can't see where I'm going. Who's third? Just here. Yep, Regan Famish. Just the glare's got me.
There's a battle here for third between Fisher Paykel and the Rag. If it gets more right-handed, it's like Fisher Paykel might be half a chance. He's to lure to the Rag. A little bit advanced on him. The Rag's putting the pedal down now. You can see to try and get across the front of Fisher Paykel. She's not on screen yet. Try and line them up here for you. Oh, I think the Rag's going to get there. Yandu will be 5th. So, there's the Rag. Where's the Fisher and Paykel? There he is.
Oh,
Just as we get onto him, he's just
Big
dunked
eat.
into windward. Yeah, Rag should be clearly 3rd.
a big eat.
So, again, consistency from Harry Price.
Yeah, so sorry, Rag and Famish fans. Oh, my goodness.
He's got to get there yet.
The Rag and Famish has got 3 keepers indeed, and that's going to cement them 3rd overall, isn't it, Pete?
Very clearly.
3, 4, 5.
3, 4 and 5. He's got to get there yet, but it looks another good gust getting down to him now.
Yeah.
Wishka. And Fisher Paykel's best performance for the crew there.
They got filling in on that today. You got Adam Gilson for Sam Monkhouse.
Yeah.
He's from Belmont 16s. Gilzo used to sail the Triple M 18-footer, won a heat of the JJs. So
I think the Rag's pretty close to lane. He's probably just a whisker eased.
He's just eased his jib, Pete,
Yes.
so
They're just both flying into the finish.
plenty of wind coming.
Yeah, so the Rag will, as you say, Andrew, a 3, 4 and 5. Solid.
Very solid. Plenty of blokes that give their left and right arm for that scorecard.
Michael will be 4, 16 and 8. Oh, they've got plenty of wind down there.
Yeah, Fisher and Paykel got the jib well out. I don't know where they're off to.
No, they're under the mark, aren't they?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Anyway, good shot from the Rag and
yeah,
Flemish
good
boys.
job. Harry Price, did we see them capsize? I can't remember. There's so many
Yeah,
capsizes.
down at Chowder.
I'm sure at some point.
No, I'm not sure actually, Pete.
No, I don't know whether they did actually.
They're happy.
But they should be happy. And they were the conservative ones to some degree. They grannied down at the bottom.
Yeah,
mark.
they did. So
Yeah.
I don't think they did swim.
Yeah.
Still windy. Fisher Paykel clearly fourth. They've just got to have one more tack and in. Yandu a long way back in fifth.
Yeah, Fisher and Paykel got to get the tack done in the face of a good one, Pete.
Breeze is up again. Come on, Jordan. 1, 2 and 3. Oh. Okay, he's right.
Oh, safety, good.
Yep. Nice job.
Oh, it's a good effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Terrific effort.
And maybe they didn't go in the drink either. Maybe they've just stayed upright and been a bit conservative.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very happy, Jordan, with that. As John Whitty will be also, I think, with a 6th spot for Yandu, a 5th for Yandu. And behind them will be in the distance, I think it's Lazarus. Marcus Ashley Jones, enjoying the fresh conditions. Yeah, Yandu laying in very nicely. I'm pretty sure Yandu has not had a swim.
He was in all sorts in Chowder Bay for a bit, but he untangled himself, I think.
Not a bad effort for a skipper approaching 70 years of age.
And the young bowman.
Yeah, Michael Kennedy, the man they call Fang. And he's Berger. Fang's on the sheet. Jasper Warren.
And the bowman being the wrong side of 50 slightly.
Okay, there's a bit of a charge on now for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Looks like, this looks like down to leeward is
C-Tech.
Lazarus and then C-Tech.
Oh, yeah.
It's both down to leeward, which is Lazarus, I think. But there's C-Tech.
That's correct.
They'll be in single figures. There's Lazarus. We'll probably get there. Oh, I don't know. 6th and 7th. It's going to be a battle here.
Yeah.
C-Tech up on the lay line. Lazarus below the lay line. Oh, C-Tech just fell off it a bit there. But anyway, we'll concentrate on Lazarus. In a really good gust there, Marcus Ashley Jones.
You think C-Tech's lying, wouldn't you, Pete?
Oh, don't know about that, actually.
I think so, mate.
You're going to be a very thin ley line there, Bucko.
Yeah, okay.
He's maybe right on the pin.
Yep.
Yeah, he probably just laying, but we'll see him in a moment when Lazarus, here he comes now. Yeah.
C-Tech's in front of him.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Lazarus has got to come back. Fair way.
C-Tech body language says we're lying.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great effort.
And on that yellow
Those
rib
boys.
behind him is Sir Robert Brown, the coach.
Yep. C-Tech, Dave Hayter, Benny Roxford, Elliot Marr. They're across in 6th spot.
Good
Well
effort.
done.
Good effort.
Great effort.
Awesome.
And Lazarus will be next and 7th.
Marcus Ashley Jones, Cam Gunny and Geronimo Harrison. And the next will be the Bavarians.
Yeah, the Black Knight will be 8th. There's Lazarus.
And they held to their promise, Jimmy. single-digit result. Good work, boys.
Black Knight 8th as Lazarus goes across. Here comes the Black Knight screaming in.
They have a group of friends, I was saying, that all get up at 2 o'clock or something in Germany and all on the messenger, and they come in, they got 500 messages to decipher through.
So 9th, here's a good performance from Noakes Youth.
Also.
Tom Cunnage, Finn Sprott and Harry Smith.
Yeah, and, those boys have been struggling, but they only just got hold of that boat, and I think good indication that that with good equipment, they will become a force.
Well, that's their second 9th of the regatta. They had a 9:18.9. Well done. So Balmain Slate will be probably next ahead of the Black Knight, and then it's probably Noakes.
The Black Swan, Pete, not the Black Knight.
Black Swan, I'm sorry.
West Australia versus Bavaria, not much difference.
Too many blacks. We don't let careful.
Careful.
Black. Comes the Balmain Slate.
And they've come. That's a good result for that young new team.
Absolutely, and this way to Breeze too, Bucko, and how fruity it was down at Chowder Bay.
And they nearly got it done. They were so close.
Incredibly close.
Good.
Okay, here comes the Balmain boys. Henry Larkin, Max Paul and Flynn Toomey. He's attacking now. Boat length to go. There's the hooter.
Got the job done.
And then screaming in is the Black Swan.
Clancy, the overlay.
Yeah, well, they're 11th. And then I think that's, I have no idea what Noakes Sailing is doing.
They might be a lap in arrears, Pete. We have lost track entirely of what they've been up to.
Well, I don't know where Smeg has ended up. I can see Finport and the Royal Oak.
Royal Oak, 4 Pines. Burrowing went
down
to the bottom mark.
Yeah.
I think I could see them on the riding lever.
So, there we are. Race 3 of the JJs for 2022 is done. And another very, very impressive performance by Andu. They were first. Tech 2 also a very, very good effort. And those boys after a capsize in second spot. But the day really belonged to Andu. Rag and Famish third. Fisher and Peichel, great performance in fourth. Yandu, fifth, always there or thereabouts. C-Tech, team from Queensland, sixth. Lazarus Capital Partners, seventh. Black Knight, eighth. Ninth, Noakes Youth. Balmain Slate, 10th. And the Black Swan, 11th. So that wraps it up from the harbour, a windy harbour. We'll be back tomorrow for 2 races. The breeze will be significant, but not as strong as today, we believe, if the forecasts are right. Then 2 more races Friday, 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday. So we look forward to bringing it to you. I hope we've enjoyed today, although it was on delay. But again, some more excitement we saw in this race, as we've seen all carnival, really. And hopefully, with the few races left, we're going to see more. But the day belonged to Andu. So on behalf of Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland, on behalf of all the Sail Media team, we brought these great pictures to you. This is Peter Shipway signing off from Sydney Harbour, and we look forward to your company tomorrow afternoon.